Have you ever read the Gospels and thought, didn't Jesus already say that? Or why does Mark say it one way and Matthew another, and John's just out here writing poetic monologues? Welcome to the Gospels. 4 authors, 1 story with infinite depth. Now here's what's wild. Jesus never wrote a gospel himself. He didn't write an autobiography. Instead, the people who walked with him, ate with him, watched him flip over a few tables and rise from the dead, those are the ones that told the story. And each gospel writer told it for a different group of people in a different time and place. Matthew wrote for the Jews, showing that Jesus is the long-awaited king that they've been waiting for, with more Old Testament quotes than any of the other Gospels. Mark, on the other hand, kept it lean, fast, and furious, full of miracles, movement, and power for a Roman audience. Luke is the compassionate historian with all the details, wanting outsiders to know that they're in. John? Well, John went deep. Less, here's what happened, and more, here's who he really is. John just wanted us to know that Jesus is God and that he loves us. Now, if the same story sounds a little different in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, or John, don't panic. That doesn't mean that the Gospels are unreliable or disagreeing. They're actually harmonizing, like a barbershop quartet with theology degrees. Here's what's happening. Jesus originally taught in Aramaic, but the Gospels were written in Greek. And for years, his words were passed on orally, like stories treasured and told again and again in homes, villages, and early churches. Different Gospel writers, led by the Spirit, took those trusted sayings and shaped them for their communities. That's why you might see the same truths show up in a different setting or phrased slightly differently. And remember, good teachers repeat their best material. Jesus likely taught the same core truths many times to many people and in many places. And by God's design, the gospel writers captured those teachings for their intended audiences. So the Gospels aren't just cut and paste biographies. They're Spirit-inspired storytelling, shaped for real churches facing real challenges. The writers don't just tell us what Jesus said, they show us how to live it out in the real world. So when we read the Gospels, we read it on 2 levels. First, what Jesus said and did back then, and second, how that truth still speaks right now. So God didn't just give us one way to see Jesus, he gave us 4. Not to confuse us, but to make sure that none of us miss him. Want more Bible history without the boring? Stick around and share with a friend. And as always, keep reading your Bible, keep getting close to Jesus, and I'll see you next time.